Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I've been messaging several of you who missed assignments that were due, and you've got to read my messages because it tells you exactly what to do in my messages, regardless of where you are in the world. These are available to you, right? All right. So welcome back. I haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you enjoyed not logging in for a couple days and took advantage of getting caught up with some things, maybe for your other classes, or maybe sleep, or maybe whatever you needed to do. I see that a lot of you did the project, the vehicle project. It wasn't hard, right? It's kind of fun. Did anyone like the car that they were choosing, I hope? Instead of just choosing whatever car was there. So we're going to use that information for, that was parts 1 through 3. So we have parts like 4 through 7 before the end of finance. So you're going to use that information. Okay. So that being said, several of you did not do it. And a couple of you have messaged me back from today, but you guys have got to look at my updates and announcements and when things are due. It's extremely clear. Doesn't matter what Canvas says, it's a document that tells you when everything is due. And do I accept late work? No, I do not accept late work. So some of you, by choosing not to do those assignments or not reading your messages, are choosing to really have a hard time being successful at the end of this semester, because this is a project. It'll go in that same category as projects. I'm going to talk to you guys about your final exams presentation as well this week. So I don't want to lose any of you, but some of you are making it extraordinarily hard for you to pass this class. So, and I don't think the class is hard to pass unless you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So if you want to log in and into office hours, we can do that. I'm actually going to change my Wednesday night office hours this week to Tuesday night. So, and I'll send you guys a message about that. So it'll be Tuesday night, 7:30 to 8:30 instead of Wednesday this week. So maybe you can get back on track. But I don't know. It's going to be bad if you didn't turn in that project, because you can't do the second half without the first half. So you'll have to do the first half anyway, but you may have to do it for no credit since it's already past due. Okay. Those of you that did that assignment, how long did it take you approximately?
So what?
How long did the vehicle project take you?
Maybe
Just
15 minutes.
15
Just
minutes
copy and
what?
paste them.
So not very long, right, Malachi? Right, Yesenia? Amanda?
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. I mean, if you were a little wishy-washy about what car you wanted, it could have taken you a little bit longer, right? You might have been like, oh, I don't even know what car I wanted. So maybe you took a couple days to, look at it, but the actual activity didn't take very long, right? So, and you notice there wasn't much mathematics in that first part of the activity, right? So you're just investigating what kind of car you might be interested in, those kind of things. And then the next part of the activity is when you'll do the actual mathematics behind it. So it wasn't like you needed some, previous information on that. Okay, so just to make sure we get everybody back in the right time mindset, let's do Mindfulness Monday. And this one's a little bit longer, and I think some of you need it. So make sure you're ready and you're listening to this. And you can turn off your video for this part. So let me share my screen, maybe.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this 5-minute guided meditation to practice positive affirmations and removing negative thoughts. Find a quiet and peaceful place to meditate and assume a comfortable upright position. Closing your eyes, take in 3 natural breaths and bring in awareness. Find a natural rhythm in your breath, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Without any effort, allow your body to become relaxed while you focus on your breath. Become aware of the sensations within as the air flows in and out. Feeling the sensations your breath creates, let's take a few moments to imagine that with each breath you take in, you are breathing in positivity, and with each breath you release, imagine it is the negativity that is holding you down. Breathe in positive energy. Breathe out negative energy. Repeat to yourself, today I will train my mind to see the good in everything. Today I will let go of negative thoughts. With each breath, feel yourself getting stronger and more refreshed. Take a moment to strengthen these positive and encouraging feelings that are flowing through you right now. Positive energy is everywhere and is not hard to find when you look for it. It is in the well wishes of a friend. It is in the dog's tail as it wags when it greets you. It is in the music of the guitar strings and the voice of a loved one. Bring that energy inward. It is as fundamental as the breath we breathe. Now look inward and at the negative energy you are holding onto right now. Shine a light on it briefly and say to it, there is no space for you here right now. You are not welcome. Return your thoughts to your positive energy and feel lighter and at peace. If even just for now, the negative feelings you have been holding on to have vanished, there is nothing left but love and light and possibilities. When you're ready, open your eyes and carry these feelings of positive emotions with you throughout your day. Be well and be safe.
All right. That I know that one was a little bit longer, and looks like it made AJ tired. So that one is a good one, especially if you're feeling a lot of stress, which I don't know if you are, but I feel like this time of the semester can be very stressful. So welcome back. I hope you had a nice break from being in front of the camera. That being said, you should have your camera on now. And we're going to start our finance unit. So I think the finance unit is a little more, I don't know, practical for you compared to the probability unit, because most of you might not deal with probability in your life, but you will deal with finance all the time because we have to have money for things. I know, it's depressing, right? We can't just do whatever we want any of the time because things cost money. A lot of people, especially young people, especially students, get stuck in a bad financial situation. And most of the time, it's because they lack financial literacy, meaning they don't really understand how to get money and keep it, right? And it's everything that you see on social media and on anywhere, TV, anything, is enticing you to spend your money. It's not really enticing you to save your money. And as students, usually you can't work as much. And so your money is very limited. And if you're not on a careful budget, you can get upside down really quickly, especially with credit cards, right? So, or student loans, right? The student loan crisis in the United States is huge. So hopefully, even if you have student loans, you are learning how to manage your money so when you graduate, you are able to pay off those student loans and not be, 60 years old and still have student loans. So the car project is kind of your jump start into that. So in the car project, you're thinking about buying a vehicle. It doesn't have to be a brand new vehicle. It can be a used vehicle, right? You can compare a used vehicle to a new vehicle, those kinds of things. But it's just a way for us to see. We could have done a house project, but many of you are probably not in the situation where you're ready to buy a house, right? And I know Yesenia is into real estate, right? Are you a current real estate agent? Or are you working your way to it?
I'm a current real estate agent.
Nice. And another reason why I didn't really want to do the housing project right now is, oh, the housing market is a nightmare right now. So, I mean, great for sellers, right? Because they're making a lot of money, but not great for buyers. So if people want to upgrade their houses, a lot of people are staying in their current house and just refinancing their house, because if they need to replace their house, it's a nightmare. Yesenia, do you want to tell us anything about the housing market in Phoenix or what's going on with buyers? Like,
It's so bad. Typically a house gets 75 offers within the first day, and then they have to review all the offers, and usually people will make a resume for themselves and they'll add photos of their families and what they liked about the house. And then it's just really crazy, and some people are getting sued because they think that they didn't view their offer. And as a real estate agent, you have to present all the offers, so it's just causing a lot of chaos.
yeah, and financing goes along with that too, because California, a lot of Californians are moving to Arizona, right? So they're selling their house in California, which they make a lot of money off of. Let's say they get $700,000 for their house. That would be a pretty cheap house in California. And then they move to Arizona, and so they can pay cash for a house that in Arizona costs $400,000. And so some people, tell me, Yesenia, if this is true, that some people who are paying cash are waiving like inspections and things like that so they can get it quicker and be accepted as an offer.
Yeah, everyone's trying to compete with people who have all cash offers, and then a lot of people are new home buyers and they're only doing like 10%, not even 20%, and they're not going to get the house, but the interest rates are still really low.
Yeah, interest rates are great, which is another reason it's a great time to buy if you can find the house, right, that you can afford, because this drives up housing prices as well. And then we could easily have a crash in our market again in a year or 2 years where these houses aren't really worth that much money, right? So it's a troubling time to be in the market. Yeah, Ashley, did you buy in August?
I did.
Yeah, good.
And it
what
was
part?
really complicated.
Yeah, and August was probably better than it is now. It's just gotten worse since August. So And some people, depending on their financing and like if they're, like, let's say they're a vet and so they need a specific type of loan, like a VA loan, right? Those kind of things. They cannot skip inspections. Like they cannot waive inspections. It's, you know, part of their financing. So then they're not even being really, you know, they're having a hard time competing in that market where other people are waiving inspections and just paying cash. So housing project might not be great right now. If you know anyone, is anyone in the market to buy a house right now? Okay, good. So you can buy cars. So, but you also have to be smart about buying a car, right? You don't want to have a huge car payment as well, right? People have car payments right now that were what my house payment used to be. So I had a townhouse in Scottsdale, and my townhouse payment was $498 a month. And it was a 3-bedroom townhouse, 1,500 square feet. So that's a nice house payment, right? Why did I ever move? No one knows. So, and people have car payments that are $500-600. So don't do that to yourself. That's a bad idea. And you can, in your car project, when we do the financing part, you can say, "Oh, I'm not even sure I would finance this." You have to show me the mathematics for financing it. But you could say, probably after doing this project, I would just save my money and not finance so I could save the interest. Or you might go, "Oh, the interest really isn't that bad. And so since it splits up by payments, I'm okay." But car financing tricks you as well and tries to get you way, way, way longer, right? Like 84 months for a new car. 84 months is too long to finance a vehicle, right? That's just too long. So be careful about that. Okay, we're gonna do a tiny bit of warm up from stuff you should already know how to do, just practically, you know. So you buy a shirt for $28, the sales tax rate is 8.5%. Compute the sales tax and the total cost. Be sure to label units. So I want 2 answers in the chat. Don't hit enter yet. I want the sales tax and the cost. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. All right, sorry, I had to let my cats in and out. So you ready for this answer? 3, 2, 1, go. I only got 1. There we go.
I only did 8%, not 8.5%. So I'm gonna redo it.
There you go. I was like, yours is off, but not by a whole lot. So there you go. All right. So don't forget how to do those problems, right? This is stuff we do practically all the time, so not a big deal. How about the second one? Jende, make sure you don't use a percent sign and a dollar sign, okay? Okay. And Ashley, make sure, Ashley and Angelina, make sure you put dollar signs on those. Okay. Okay. So a laptop's on sale for 30% off. The original price is $1,049. How much is the discount and what is the sale price? So same thing. I want two answers, discount and the sales price. Don't hit enter yet. Everybody have this one ready? If you need more time, let me know. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. All right, good. Good job putting dollar signs and 2 decimal places. So we didn't forget how to do that. Any questions on those? Anybody need help on that? Okay, so you had your mini lesson, right? And you did your textbook reading. So you should understand a little bit about simple interest, and you've probably heard it before. I'm going to show you some formulas from PF4. Yeah. Why does it say PC? I don't know why it says PC on my formula sheet, but it should say PF4 and PF5. Here is a link to it. You can make your own copy. You'll want to keep this handy for you while you learn this information. So if we look at this formula sheet, all right, so today we're just doing the simple interest formulas. So we're doing I equals P times R times T. So you should know what those things stand for. Anyone have an idea what any of those letters stand for?
Your I is your interest.
Very nice. I is interest. Angelina, put the rest in there. Principal, rate, and time. So what is principal? Anyone know?
Isn't that like the price? Like the price it starts off at?
So that's the amount. So right now we're talking about investing. So that's the amount you put in the bank, the amount you deposit into the bank, or the amount you take out as a loan. Okay. So if,
Yeah, I
for
get it.
example, if you're buying a car and the price of the car is $10,000, that's the principal. Okay, that's how much it costs. Okay, or if you put $5,000 in the bank, that's your principal deposited in the bank. The rate is always a percent. Okay, that's why we had to learn percents before this. And then time. This is an important thing about time. Time is measured in years, always. So if it says 6 months for the time, what would you put in the formula? Would you put a 6? If it's measured in years?
Would it be like 0.5?
That's exactly what it would be, Olivia. It would be 0.5 because that's half a year. And how you find that 0.5 is you can do 6 divided by 12, and that's 1/2, right? Which is 0.5. What if it was only 3 months? Everybody get it ready in the chat. What decimal would you put in there if it was 3 months? What part of a year is that? So get it ready in the chat. In 3, 2, 1, go. Very nice. So to get 0.25, you would put 3 over 12, right? 3 divided by 12, which would give you that 0.25. So it's a quarter of a year. Make sense? So just remember that time is always in years. It's really easy to get that wrong, and that'll throw you off, right? That'll throw your numbers off. Okay, so that's this first formula, I equals PRT, but then I have all these other formulas. I have this one that says A equals P plus PRT. Any idea what that is? Well, you can see that the PRT is the interest, right? Okay, that P times R times T. So that part is the interest. And then we're adding it to the principal again. So what that's telling us is how much we will have at the end, or how much will we have paid at the end, okay? Because it's taking the amount that you put in, the principal, and adding the interest to it. So that'll be the total amount. Sometimes it asks you questions like, it says you put $2,000 in the bank, it's earning 2% interest, you leave it in there for 10 years, it's earning simple interest, how much will be in your account? So you can calculate the interest and then add it back to the principal, or you could use this formula that says A equals. It's the same. Then I have these 3 versions of the A formula, and it's just rearranging things. So I've included them because sometimes it's hard. So if it says how much would you invest or something like that, how much would you deposit, you would use the P equals formula. If it says what is the interest rate, then you're going to use the one that says R equals. And if it says how long, then you're going to use the T equals formula. And if you know a lot about algebra, you might be able to do it without those other formulas, and we'll talk about that. Don't worry about these complicated ones for PF5. That's for your mini lesson tonight, but it can help you. And it'll help you because we're going to do PF5 tomorrow. Okay, so, but you might want to keep that handy. So annual percentage rate is the interest rate. And for most long-term simple interest loans, it's common for interest to be paid on an annual basis. Interest would be earned each year on the principal. So this you saw in your reading that talks about what all those things represent. Here's an example for you. You borrowed $10,000 from a friend and you agreed to repay it with a 3% annual interest in 5 years. You would not only repay your friend the $10,000 you borrowed, you will also pay simple interest for each year you had borrowed the money. So when you're reading these problems in the finance unit, it's really helpful to highlight the stuff that you know, okay? 3%, 5 years, $10,000, and it says simple interest. That's what's going to help you figure out which formula to use. So we're going to use the I equals formula, P times R times T, so 10,000 times 0.03, that's changing the 3% to a decimal, times 5 years. And we get 1,500. So what we will have to pay back our friend, notice here's the A formula. So we took our principal of 10,000, we added on the interest, and so altogether, we will pay our friend back $11,500, which, by the way, that's a very generous friend to loan us $10,000 for 5 years and only make us pay them $1,500 extra, right? Like that's a good friend. That's like your grandma or somebody loaning you the money. That's not reality. Okay, so now you guys try this one. Write down all your work and then we will put our answers in the chat. So this one is Carlos invests $15,000 at 2% simple interest for 29 years. I don't know why he's only earning simple interest for 29 years, but that's okay. How much is in the account at the end of the 29-year period? So be careful. I didn't ask how much interest he earned. I said, what's the total in the account? All right, try that one. Great. All right, you have your answer. Are you ready yet? Anyone need more time? All right, let's put it in the chat. 3, 2, 1, go. Excellent. A lot of you got the same answer. Olivia, Yesenia, Amanda, Aaron, good job with your dollar signs and your commas. Malachi, extra, decimal point, love it. Good job. Angelina, don't forget a comma after 23,000. That helps us know what the number really is. So $23,700. Anyone have a question on how we got that amount? You guys all did great, got it right. All right, So a lot of this is, again, just reading and then plugging things in. So I think it's helpful when you're doing this, like on your paper, when you're doing your more homework, write down the formula you're using on the problem, because that'll help you remember where you're getting it from in the formula sheet, and that'll help you when you take the quiz. Because we're going to get a lot more formulas, right? So they're hard to keep track of. So make sure you're keeping track. Right now it's pretty easy, but it's going to get a little bit harder. So this is just my work, and you can see Carlos will have $23,700 in his account after 29 years. And I use the A equals formula. I don't know if any of you use that, but you could have just used the interest formula and then added the interest to the principal. How many of you did it way one with did anyone use this formula on the formula sheet, A equals? Anyone use that one? Oh, Jen Day did. Anyone else use that way? How many of you used this way, where you found the interest and then you added them together? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of heads shaking that that's the way you do it. I don't care which way you do it. You know, it works both ways. Just make sure that you know one way to do it and you can show your work. And this is really like how you show me your work, because the calculator does most of it, right? But you can show me your work by writing down your formula and writing down what you plug in, because this, I don't care if you write down this line, right? I don't care if you write down this line, but definitely write down this line, because if you make a mistake on converting your percent, that's where I'm going to see it. Or if you wrote in like Yesenia used 8 instead of 8.5, if I can find that right there, then I can go, oh, okay, so she knew what she was doing. She just made a silly mistake, right? Okay. And then, you know, your interest and then the addition together. So I can see all of this work. It's very helpful. Okay. All right. So here's some practice problems. Christina invests $13,000 at 7% simple interest for 3 months. How much is in the account at the end of the 3-month period? And then how much would you need to deposit? Do you see how the part 2 question is different? Let's hold that one. If you want to try it, that's totally fine, but let's do number 1 first and put our answer in the chat when we're done. So try number 1. Everybody got an answer? Are you still working? You good, Olivia, AJ, Yesenia, Amanda? You have an answer? All right. Let's put it in the chat. 3, 2, 1, go. Look at that. Isn't it nice when you see everybody else's answer matches yours? That feel good? Yeah, I like that. If you make a mistake, it's fine. It's nice to make a mistake here than on the quiz. Oh, speaking of which, the quiz that you took last week, Thursday or Friday, I did not grade them yet. That's my plan today. How'd it go? You can see your grades. Fine. I got a thumbs up. I got a head shake. Okay, good. Amanda's like, I don't know. Maybe you should look at my work and then I will feel better about it. So yeah, like I said, I haven't even looked at them yet. So no worries. All right, good. Oh yeah, was it 227 or is it 277? Everybody look, because Jen Day typed 277. So did Ashley, but Ashley said hers was wrong. So Yesenia typed 277. So is it 227 or 277? Yeah, stupid double numbers, right? Especially on the computer. So another good reason to show me your work on paper, right? Because sometimes we just type it wrong on Canvas, right? And then it's right on your paper. So, and I can override the score. That's what takes me so long to grade it. First of all, I have to look at all the videos. Then I look at everybody's work individually while I'm grading them. So that's what takes a long time, because sometimes you just do a goofy thing, like write 2 7s instead of 2 2s. So, okay, good. Now, in the second problem on this page, how much would you need to deposit in an account now in order to have $3,000 in the account in 5 years? Well, when you look at a problem like this, remember, this is the formula. Now, I'm not going to totally make you freak out, but I'm just going to show you some stuff. So if we're looking for the amount in the account, that is principal plus interest. And practice using that vocabulary, because when I say principal, you should know what that means. Okay, so use that vocabulary for yourself. So, but we also know that our interest is principal times rate times time, right? So remember on that formula sheet, how I rearranged things? That's some algebra that you may or may not know how to do. So I'm going to show you how to do a problem like this. So we want $3,000 in the account in 5 years, and we're going to earn 2% simple interest. I should have just highlighted those. All right, so 3,000, 5 years, 2% simple interest. So let's label easy things first. And I think it's good to write this little key off to the side. We know that our time is 5 years, right? So T equals 5. What is our R? And tell me it, you can tell me it as a percent and as a decimal.
Is it 2%?
It is 2%. And so as a decimal, what would it be? Very nice. Thank you, Malachi and Angelina. So 0.02. Now, let's talk about this 3,000 right here. What is that 3,000? What letter variable is it in my formula? What do you guys think?
Is that the P?
How many of you think it's the P? Do you agree with Malachi? Everybody else is quiet. So Malachi, I'm glad you put it out there that you were at least thinking about it. What do you guys think? Amanda, you think it's the P?
No, that's
Yeah?
the
Oh, you messed up, Malachi. Tell me.
it's the amount, right? Because that's the total you want.
There you go. Yeah, this one's a little bit trickier because it says, how much do you need to deposit? And so this deposit is actually your principal. When it says, in order to have $3,000 in the account, that is the A. Do you see how this is a different problem? Yeah, so it's a little bit tricky. Good job catching it, Malachi. So A is 3,000 and P is what we're looking for. That's what we don't know. So P is what we're looking for. So if I plug all these numbers into this formula right here, I'll say 3,000 equals P plus P times 0.02 times 5. Now, I don't know how many of you have taken algebra or have taken algebra not for a really long time, but this right here is a little bit complicated to do. Yeah, it's not too complicated. It's just a little bit complicated. So if we multiply 5 times 0.02, what do you get when you multiply 5 times 0.02? What'd you guys get?
0.1.
Very nice. 0.1. Boy, this is like pulling teeth today. I don't know what's happening to you guys, but I'm just going to go as slow as it takes us to answer it. But if I don't get through the slides, I guess you just have to do them on your own, right? So make sure everybody's engaged and checked in because you're going to miss instruction. Okay, so 3,000. Oh, you can't see that. I'm going to write it in a different color right there. 3,000 equals P plus 0.1 P. So if you remember algebra, you can put those P's together. So this is like 1 P plus 0.1 P. So that would give us 3,000 equals 1.1 P. And then, does anyone remember from algebra how I get that P by itself? Because I wanted to say P equals something.
Just divide.
Yeah, divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1.1. And if I divide 3,000 by 1.1, I get 2727, and then that keeps repeating. So if I'm going to round it, 272, I would just do 27. Now, that might have been hard, right? You might have been like, can't do that. Don't really know what happened. Looks like messy algebra to me. We have a different formula, right? On our formula sheet that I gave you that is solved already for P. And the formula, if you pull that formula sheet up again, says P equals A divided by 1 plus R times T. Once you realize at the beginning that you're solving for a principal, you can use this formula because I already did that algebra for you. So you could just say P equals 3,000 divided by 1 plus 0.02 times 5. Do this on your calculator like Desmos or whatever calculator you have and verify that you get this same answer of $2,727.27. Everybody do that so you can ask me a question if that's not what you get. Okay, did anyone have trouble getting that on their calculators? Everybody okay? Because if you're using a calculator like this, you might have to use some parentheses, right? And we should be getting better at Desmos by now, right? We know how to use Desmos, I hope. All right. Now, here's some problems I want you to try. What interest rate would you need on an account in order to have a deposit of $1,000 to grow to $1,500 in 2 years? What I want you to think about right now is, what are you solving for? Are you solving for interest? Are you solving for principal? Are you solving for the amount? Are you solving for the rate? Are you solving for the time? Okay, so try these two. I'm going to give you a few minutes and then we'll talk about it. You can message me if you have any questions, or if you get the answer. Just make sure you message me directly if you're sending the answer. I'm glad some of you are messaging me because I think you're a little bit confused. If you have an answer already, send it to me. If you're still asking me questions in the chat, that's great. All right, so I've been chatting away with all of you. If you wondered why I'm sitting here so quietly. So I wanted to make sure that everybody's really making sense of these problems for themselves, because sometimes in class you're like, oh, Olivia's always going to answer, or Yesenia's going to answer, or Amanda's going to answer. I'm just going to wait until someone else answers or until she does the problem. So you have to be careful. So make sure you pay attention to what's happening in the problem. So first of all, it says, what interest rate would you need? So if I'm looking for the interest rate, what variable is that in my formula?
R.
Very nice. It's R. So that's what I'm looking for. And I want a deposit of $1,000. So what is a deposit of $1,000? What letter is that?
Amount.
Is it the amount? If I'm putting it in initially before I earn any interest, it's going to be the principal. So that's going to be the P. So what is the $1,500? That's the amount. And then 2 years is our time. Now, now we're going to look at that formula sheet. I think I have it up still. When we look at that, oh, maybe not. Didn't I just put it up here? There it is. Okay, on this formula sheet. So if I'm looking for R, I'm going to use the formula that says R equals I divided by PT. Okay, so I'm using that middle formula. So I'm going to say I equals, what did the formula say? Anyone? AJ, what does the formula say on the formula sheet? R, oh, sorry, not I equals. That might be why you're confused. R equals. That might be why you were confused, right? Aaron's like, yeah. Amanda's like, I don't know what you're doing.
Interest divided, it starts with the P. then
Interest
time.
divided by principal times time. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So here's the tricky part of this problem. Do I have anything labeled here as I in my highlight? Did I label anything I? No, I didn't. What is I in this problem? How would I find it?
It's 500.
How'd you get it, Aaron?
If it has to grow to 1,500 and the original deposit was 1,000, just the difference of that.
Very nice. You took the amount minus the principal to get that $500. So you did A minus P to get that 500. That's where a lot of you went wrong when you got that weird percent of 75%. That's what you did wrong. You probably put in the wrong number here. Instead of putting in 500, you put in something else. Yes. And then principal is 1,000 and time is 2 years. So when you do 500 divided by 2,000, what do you get, AJ?
What was that?
When you do 500 divided by 2,000, what do you get?
Okay, give me a second. Oh, I'm a fool. It's 0.25.
It's 25%, right? So it came up 0.25, which is 25%. Now, 25% is a crazy interest rate too, right? You're not going to get 25% interest rate ever. And a normal interest rate at a bank is like 1 to 2%, right? That they're going to pay you. So you're not getting 25%. But this was an important problem for us to go over to make sure that you're making sense of, you have to do a little thinking and a little math to figure out that your interest is $500. First, you have to figure out which formula you're using, right? So there's a lot more going on here than just, it would be a problem from elementary school if I just said, here's your formula, I equals PRT, here's P, here's R, here's T, find I. You're in college. This is college mathematics. It's financial literacy. You need to be able to read this and make sense of it. Okay? All right. So now the second part, I think a lot of you did this one. You invest $500 in a savings account. As soon as you read that, what is the $500? You invest $500 in a savings account.
Is it A,
Mm,
P?
nope, it's P.
Okay.
So it's a lot of this is reading carefully. It's true. So a lot of you just have to be careful with that, how it's worded. So that is the principle. As soon as it says you invest or you deposit, something like that, that means it's principal. So that's P. Okay, 5.5%. What is that?
R?
Very nice. That's R. And then when you read the rest of this, it says, how long will it take for the investment? So when it says how long, what variable would that be?
T.
Very nice. So this is T. And then it says for it to grow to $600 in value. So what is that $600?
That one's going to be A.
That one's going to be A. So what is I? If I know that A is 600 and the principal is 500, what's interest?
Would it be 100?
You got it, $100. Because if I have 600 in my account now and I started out with 500 in my account, the amount of interest I earned was $100. Okay? So now it says, how long will it take? So which formula do you want to use? From our formulas, which one do you want to use?
We're going to do, are we going to do A minus P over P times R?
Very nice. We want the one that says T equals because we're looking for time. So this is the one we want. T equals A minus P over PR. So do you see how having this formula sheet is very helpful, right? That's why you need to have it. And you'll have a lot of formula sheets. So make sure you have those and it's very helpful. So we're gonna go back to our, sorry. We're gonna say we're gonna use this formula, right? T equals A minus P over P times R. And then we're just going to plug in. So we have 600 minus 500, or you could put that 100 there, over 500 times 0.055. Everybody try this on your calculator and type your answer in the chat. And I want you to round to the nearest tenth of a year, nearest tenth of a year. All this is calculator button pushing practice right now. So you're doing this on your calculator. All right, let's put it in the chat in 3, 2, 1, go. AJ, don't forget rounding. So it's 3.6 years, correct. All right, so there's my work. You'll notice we had another problem, another 2 problems that were probably the hardest ones that we didn't get to today. So you'll want to review the slides. I'll post them after class to review those. We didn't have a chance to do these practice problems. You could do them on your own. The key will be linked in the slides. So don't forget to, oh, maybe you could finish your PF4 mini lesson tonight. I don't know. I thought that was due last night. Let me look. Let me look. I might have not updated my slide. The mini lesson was due last night. Oh, that's done. And you have PF5. This isn't due till tomorrow, due tomorrow. I don't think I made this as an assignment on Canvas. I thought you had enough to do. So I don't have this. Sorry, I should have updated this better. I must have felt bad for you guys. PF5 reading is due tonight, Okay, and your PF4 practice. So this should have just said PF4. Oh, that's what it says. This is due today. So due today, PF5 reading and PF4 practice. That's what's due today. So get your, make sure you do your exit ticket. I'll put it in the chat right now. And then let me know if you have any questions. And I'll see you tomorrow. Olivia, did you use $4,300?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you use $4,300 as your principal?
For my exit ticket.
Yeah.
Shoot, let me open that back up.
I think you did. I think you just gave me the interest instead of the amount in the account.
Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry, I read that.
Oh, wait, it just says, no, you wrote it right. My answer is wrong. Find the amount of interest he earned. So yours is right.
It says I put my answer is $494.50, and it
yes,
giving me a green
so
check.
you did it right. I just wrote the question. My question says find the amount of interest, which is what you answered, but my answer says what is in the account. Like I used
the total.
Yeah, so my answer is, you know, $4,794.50, which would be the sum of those two. So if it marked you wrong, but you got $494.50, you're right. So
Okay,
Aaron, you're right too.
It's telling me that it marked me right too.
Oh, weird. I must have crazy answers in this one. I'm looking at it right now, but it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, oops, sorry, Leah.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
I was going to say for me, yeah, it marked me as wrong, but it says the correct answer is $494.50.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. I didn't put the dollar sign, but yeah, the correct answer is for mine says $494.50.
I wonder if it has if my QR code is wrong. You know what I mean? Did you use the QR code or the link I put in the chat?
I use the link.
Okay. Weird. I don't know what's happening to Google. My Google was all messed up this morning. I couldn't even see things this morning.
Of course, because it's Monday. It has to be.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like, we're done. I don't care. Well, and I was not in town. So I think it, I don't know, was syncing weird or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Hey, by the way, hold on. I'm going to pause this recording.